Okay, this meeting is being recorded, so let's see how the recording pans out. Thank you for confirming that there is sound. Right, my name is Tian Kriek, and you have joined me for my webinar on this Wednesday, the 27th of May, 2026. And I am your host here from Portugal, and it is crazy hot here. It's 37 degrees Celsius outside. I can hardly function, it's so hot. But before I get started with today's session, I need to make mention that I'm not a financial advisor, and that means I can teach you my strategies or strategy. I can point out to you where I personally would want to buy and sell, but the actual trading decision is still going to have to make yourself. Okay, a little bit about me. I have extensive experience in the financial markets, portfolio analysis, investment management, teaching aspiring traders about the markets and how to trade and how to analyze the markets, how to apply good risk management and trading psychology, and how to draw a trend line, for instance, and see what's a pattern. Okay, so you can go and view my software at KriekTrade.io, and you can sign in with your username and your password. And I always advise everybody to go and click on the daily briefing first, because if you click on the briefing, then that is going to create a daily briefing for you explaining what is happening at the markets today, or maybe what has happened and what to look out for. It will also tell you what is the risk gauge. Okay, so the risk gauge is a proprietary formula that would stipulate if we are in a risk on situation or a risk off situation. Okay, so you can see here with regards to the daily briefing, it is at 85 and it says extreme greed, and I can immediately see here that the signal is high confidence, go long risk assets, which means buy stocks, buy crypto, go long Aussie dollar, go long New Zealand dollar, high yielding currencies, and short low yielding currencies, okay, like the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. Now, there's been a lot of volatility in the markets over this long weekend, because on Monday we had a public holiday in the United States as well as in some countries in Europe. And at the same time, Donald Trump came out with a tweet that it looks like there's a peace deal with Iran. But then it looks like it's going back and forth, and Iran isn't really confirming that there is a peace deal. And it looks like there's been some drone attacks again. So if we go and have a look at the charts, I'm just going to go to the charts here. We can basically go and load any instrument. But for instance, if you have a look at this, this is gold. Gold gapped up to the upside and has now moved down to take out the low. Let's see what we have from the S&P 500 index. Let's see if this one is going to load. There we go. And we also had a gap up to the upside, and now the market is consolidating. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. We do have 3 more days before it's weekend and the end of the month. Let's see if the market will make a new high. But at this point, I do know that I can go long risk assets. Okay. Now, let's go and focus on the foreign exchange market. So for that purpose, I'm going to go to the scanner. All right, let's wait for the scanner to load, and then I'm going to go and click on Forex. Okay, so now I've clicked on Forex, and now it has loaded all the foreign exchange currency pairs for me. It's loaded 46 of them. It starts alphabetically: Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss, Aussie Yen. And what I am looking for is if there is a setup confirmed. And you can see that there is one confirmed here on the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. and the direction is bullish. I can see that there's a few patterns that has been identified, a double top and a double bottom. I see that there is a swing target as well as a position target. Okay, so I already have a target. So what I can do is I can hover my mouse over actions here and click on dashboard to go and view the Aussie CAD in a chart, or I can just go to charts and load the Aussie CAD. And I can see here that the market is currently above the 45 period exponential moving average. This is the daily chart. You can see here that this is the daily time frame. The one on the right is the hourly time frame, and you can see that there is a bullish setup confirmed, and then there's a target. But if I actually want to see where to put my stop loss, then I can go and click on stop loss and target, and then it will show me if I place an entry here right now, then my stop loss needs to be at 0.9765 and the target needs to be at 1.01201. Okay, and that is the position trading strategy. In fact, the only difference between the swing trading strategy and the position trading strategy on the 1 hour time frame is the fact that we take 50% of the profit when we hit the target, and then the other 50 there is a trailing stop loss that will continue chasing the market in an attempt to make more. Okay. However, if you want to see where a target is on the daily chart in terms of the Fibonacci ABCD swing, then I can go and click on the daily Fibonacci, this one over here. Daily Fibonacci. I can go and check that one, and then it is going to draw an up ABCD swing for me. If I want to see this chart in maximized fashion, then I can just double click on the chart and it will open it up for me. And there you can see we have an A, we have a B, we have a C, which looks like a retracement to the 236 retracement level, which means the D extension is going to be the 2.618. And that's your target. So there's actually a target at 104,700, like a long-term target, which is the daily Fibonacci D extension. So you can see all of this from the charts. Okay, do we have any questions on this? Any observations, any questions? Okay, just let me know if you have any questions on that. So that's the Aussie CAD. So you can choose how you would like to trade this. If you want to auto trade this one, if you don't want to manually trade it, then you can go to the portfolio. And you can add the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar to the portfolio, because this is where you are going to auto trade it. Actually, I need to go to the scanner first. Select the Forex tab, select the Aussie CAD, and go and add that to the portfolio. Click on plus portfolio. Now it's added to the portfolio. It should be here. There we go. There it is. And if I want to trade the position trading strategy, that's fine. The position trading strategy will give me on average 19.5% per year. It's already been back tested. And then I can go and just toggle the switch here to turn on auto trading. And if I have an account connected, it will auto trade that on the next signal that appears on the charts. Okay. At this point, it will auto trade on the paper trading account. Okay. So that's basically how I would go about trading the Aussie Canadian. If I wanted to place a trade immediately, I can go and click on the buy button, and then it's going to place a trade without me having to wait for a new auto trade signal to appear. Okay, so that's the Aussie CAD. So let's go back to the scanner and have a look at the next, the rest of the foreign exchange symbols here. So let's go back to the scanner. Let's load Forex. Aussie Swiss. It says here I need to wait for a bullish flip, so I can't trade that one. Aussie Yen, there is a bullish setup that is confirmed with a target at 11619. So let's go view this one in the dashboard. This is the Australian dollar Japanese yen. There's a long-term target, which is the daily Fibonacci D extension at 125.74. That is, wow, 1,300 pips away from where we are now. But let's have a look at the 1 hour chart. Let's have a look at the stop loss and the target. So there's the stop loss at 112.72 and the target at 11619, which is about 250 pips away from where we are now. Nice risk reward as well. I can draw the 1 hour Fibonacci so you can see where the actual trade setup comes from, because here we have the up AB boundary and then we have a retracement to the 236, so the D extension is the 2.618, and that's where the target comes from. Other things that we have built into the charts, let me just disable the Fibonacci and the stop loss and the target, is patterns. If you click on patterns, then it will draw patterns for you. We also have harmonic patterns. Doesn't look like there's any harmonic patterns here at the moment. No, nothing at the moment. But what we do have is an AI forecast where by means of generative AI, it's going to draw candlesticks into the future based on what happened in the past. So I can go and click on the AI forecast, click on daily, and then it will draw candlesticks for me into the future. And it looks like there's going to be a retracement here. So I think maybe it's a good idea to wait. Let's see what it's going to look like on the 1 hour chart. There we go. Also looks like we're going to get a retracement. So maybe it's a good idea to wait for the market to break some sort of a counter trend line. Now, talking about counter trend lines, you can actually go and apply your own technical analysis. If you click on this little button on the charts, the drawing tools button. So if I go and click on this one, then it will open up a new menu for me where I can, for instance, draw vertical lines. I can draw rectangles. I can draw text on the chart, and I can draw a trend line. So let's just see. Here's a measuring tool where you can measure 2 points. It will give you the pips and the duration in days and the amount that the market moved. We also have, there's Fibonacci as well, but I want to see where's the trend line. There we go. So there's a trend line. I can draw a trend line like that. Okay, and if I want to delete everything, I just click on the delete all drawings button and then they are gone. Okay, so you can draw on the charts. You can see auto Fibonacci's. So please go and play around with those tools. But it looks like there is a buying opportunity right now, regardless of what the AI candlesticks are telling me. Let's go and have a look at the scanner again and see what else we have here. Okay, Aussie yen. Okay, wait for setup. Wait for bullish setup, wait for bullish setup. Oh, excuse me. Let me go back to Forex, foreign exchange. Hi there, Jewel. I see Jewel has just joined us. I know that this is new to everybody. This is a new webinar user interface. I'm using the Google webinars. from now on. So I'm sure that you can find the chat button and just let us know that you can hear my voice and see the screen. Okay, but I did have a look at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. So there's a bullish setup that is confirmed. Now, if I want to go and see a list of all the currency pairs that are aligned, then I can simply go to the sort function and sort them by signal. So the dollar Swiss, there is a bullish setup that is confirmed. So let's go and view that in the dashboard. There we go. So that's the dollar Swiss. This is the daily chart. And as you can see, the market is above the 45 period exponential moving average. And we are risk on, which means the Swiss franc is poised to weaken. It looks like the dollar is going to start to strengthen here versus the Swiss franc. So that is bullish. If I want to see a long-term target, if I want to see where the Fibonacci's are, let's see if we can draw a fib. Now it tells me Fibonacci is suppressed. The current swing is bearish, but the macro regime is waiting for a bullish flip. So the counter regime setups are hidden to avoid confusion. That means there is a bearish Fibonacci ABCD swing at the moment on the daily chart, but it is being suppressed because the probability is bullish. I don't want to show a down fib when we are in a bullish market. So it's not going to draw that fib for me. But maybe I can see one on the 1 hour chart. So let's double click on this chart and make the 1 hour chart bigger. And click on 1 hour Fibonacci. And there we have it. Okay, there's the ABCD swing. I see that there is a target here at 8052. But the C should actually have been a bit lower. So it looks like the auto fibs needs a little bit more development. But nevertheless, there is the target. And if I want to see what is the stop loss, then I can just click on stop loss and target. Then it will show if I had to enter the market right now, this is my entry. And here's my stop loss at 7761. And then there's the target at 8052. Okay. I see that Alfred has just joined us. Welcome, Alfred. Just like I've been saying to everybody, this is a new format. I'm from now on going to use Google Webinar, and it's just much more better when it comes to recordings and all of that. But the user interface is different, so that if you can find the chat button, please just type in the chat box that you can hear my voice and see the screen that I'm sharing at the moment. I'd appreciate that. Maybe if I type you a message, you can see it. There we go. Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Alfred, for confirming. That's fantastic. Let's see if we got any harmonic patterns. No. Any other patterns? No. The double bottom also can look better. If you click on Dow channels, then we can view the latest minor trend, because this is a 1 hour chart. But I can go and view the whole technical analysis on the daily chart. So let's go and have a look at this. There we go. There's the primary trend, there's the secondary trend, and then we have the minor trend. But because the market has moved above the 45 period exponential moving average, this one is now bullish, and therefore we have a buy signal. Okay, so just in case you see in the scanner, if you go and click on Forex or commodities or anything you want to look at, you can go and sort by signal, and then you can see all the signals. You do have a target, but if you want to see a stop loss, go and view it in the dashboard. It will open up the charts, and then you can click on stop loss and target, and then it will show you on the 1 hour chart where the stop loss is the entry and the target. If you want to see how it was calculated, then you can just click on H1 Fibonacci, and then it will draw the Fibonacci for you. So you can see where it comes from. All right. Anybody joining a little bit late? No problem. I am unfortunately pressed for time myself, but this session is being recorded. So the moment that we are done and the recording is available, I'll send an email to everybody notifying them that the recording is available. In the meantime, I appreciate your feedback. If you want to tell me what you think of the new layout, if there's anything that we might improve, we could improve, please let me know. By the way, in case you don't know, if you click the top right button next to your name, then you can actually toggle this to a dark and a light a screen. I prefer the dark, to be honest, so I'll keep it that way. Right, let's go and see what else we have in the scanner. Let's sort by signal. Okay, I see the EuroCAD is also bullish. That's interesting. Let's go and have a look at this one. Let's take off the Dow channels. So there's a target here at 62.48. If I click on stop loss and target, then it will show the stop loss, the entry, and the target as per the system that we deploy on the 1 hour time frame. Because we only trade the 1 hour time frame, we analyze the market using the daily. You can see that the daily chart is bullish because we are here above the 45 period exponential moving average. And therefore, the 1 hour chart is going to try and give me an opportunity. And it did do that. We can see here that there's a stop loss, an entry, and a target. Let's open this a little bit bigger. It also looks like we have a bullish crown or a bullish head and shoulders pattern. That's nice. Let's see what fib it has drawn. There we go, up AB boundary with a shallow retracement. So therefore, the target is the 2.618. I can also draw, I think there's a pattern tool here. Let me see. Fibonacci retracement. Elliott waves. Wolf waves, text. Doesn't look like it. Definitely something I can improve here is to bring in a tool to draw my own patterns, but I can use the trend line tool just to show you quickly. So this is the left tip. This is the center tip. And excuse me, that was the left tip, excuse me. This is the center tip. And it's taken out the high. Now we're going to see the right tip. There we go. And as a result, that would be the target. Okay, there we go. There we go. Right, that's the target. That's very interesting because that really looks like the distance from the center tip to the swing high, which is normally the target of the head and shoulders pattern also. But it also happened to be the Fibonacci target. What a nice coincidence. All right, so the Euro Canadian is bullish. You know, where's the target, the stop loss, the entry. Again, if you want to auto trade this, then you go back to scanner. You go look for the EuroCAD, and then you just click on add to portfolio, and then it will show up in your portfolio. There it is, EuroCAD long. And automatically it's going to backtest the position trading strategy for me. Look at that. It is yielding 8.7% a year. Okay. I can flip this toggle to start auto trading that. And the next time there's a signal, it's going to place a trade. And then I can go and view the open positions here in these are currently open paper trading open positions. Okay, right. Any questions? Any questions? For those who just joined us, according to the daily briefing, we are risk on, which means I would be buying Aussie yen, I'd be buying Aussie Swiss, I'd be buying NZD yen, I'd be buying NZD Swiss. You know, basically just sell the Swiss and sell the Japanese yen. I know that the market is very volatile. I mean, it's crazy. Let's go back to the scanner. Let's do one more and then I will take requests. Okay, so Aussie yen, bullish setup confirmed, Aussie CAD, NZD CAD, and those are just Singapore dollar, Hong Kong dollar. Those are exotics. Let's have a look at the NZD CAD. Oh, wow. Nice and bullish. Look at that. We're above the 45. This is the 1 hour chart. And there is the trade setup. And the Fibonacci ABCD swing. Wow. Okay, well, that one could have been drawn a little bit better. I guess that needs a little bit more calibration. But anyway, there's your stop loss, your entry, and the target. Do we have any harmonic patterns here? No, nothing. They are few and far between. I can go and have a look at some technical analysis in terms of trend lines by clicking on the Dow channels, and that will draw the most recent trend lines for me. You can see that this has been worked on, calibrated. That's a lovely primary trend. And then the golden one here is the secondary trend. And then we have a minor trend that seems like it's sideways. This one here. There we go, sideways. Okay. Any requests? Any symbols? Any requests? What are you guys looking at? What are you trading? Type it here in the chat box, and then we can go and have a look at that together. I'm just going to mute my mic for a second, but type in your chat box what you would like me to have a look at. Okay, Alfred is asking for the NASDAQ, the US 100. Okay, so I can go and change it here. I can go and insert the NASDAQ. NAS, no, that's not the one. NDX, NDX. Right, that's the NASDAQ. Okay, so we have a bullish primary trend, a bullish secondary trend, and that's it. Maybe we can see a minor trend on the 1 hour. Yes, there we go. The minor trend is there. Okay, so that's all bullish. The market is above the 45 period exponential moving average. It's saying here that it's waiting for a bullish setup. The market has been a bit volatile today. So even if I draw the 1 hour Fibonacci's, oh, hold on a second. There we go. There it is. Up AB boundary with a super shallow retracement. So there's a target at 32,994, which is basically, I mean, that's what, 3,000 points away from where we are now. But there is no valid stop loss at the moment, so you're going to have to wait for a valid entry. But there is at least a Fibonacci target, at least from the 1 hour trend perspective, at 33. I guess on the daily chart, because it is a daily chart, we would see even a much higher D extension. So let's go and view the daily Fibonacci. There it is. And the D extension here is at 38,805. That's crazy. So it can still go much further. And remember, that is entirely possible due to the fact that we are in this last leg of the irrational exuberance of the 18.6-year cycle. We are risk on. And if the new Fed president is going, or the chairman, the new chairman is going to adjust the formula of the PCE, which is the inflation, preferred inflation number that the Fed likes to look at, and all of a sudden that shows a lower point, then that will be exceptionally dovish, which means the price is likely going to continue higher. Okay, so I don't think it's a good idea to be selling this market. I would just simply continue buying it. Jill is saying, in your general assessment, is news regarding the ongoing Iran conflict still the primary catalyst for market movement? Absolutely, absolutely. So once there is a proper peace deal set in place in between Iran and in the Strait of Hormuz, then we're likely going to see even a much larger breakout to the upside in risky assets. Okay, so absolutely, that is taking center stage, the Iran news. So keep your eyes peeled on that. We can go and view the daily briefing and see what else is on the agenda here. The score, okay, the score is 85. That's extreme greed. What it means for your trades. It says we favor equity indices, S&P, NASDAQ, and the DAX, growth currencies, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, industrial commodities, copper and oil. Then reduce exposure to the dollar, the Swiss, and the yen. We're aware of that. I should be selling those. Bullish sentiment is dominating global markets as institutional conviction reaches a crescendo, evidenced by Goldman Sachs raising its S&P 500 year-end forecast. Wow. JP Morgan is signaling a 20 billion appetite for strategic acquisitions. Boeing is signaling industrial recovery. If there's any actionable insights, monitor Marvel and Zscaler for continued momentum following midday volatility and sector strength. Analyze United Airlines for upside potential. And evaluate JP Morgan Chase. Okay, so if you want to go and let's say evaluate JP Morgan or any stock or any asset for that matter, but from a deeper microeconomic perspective, then you can simply go and click on the asset valuation, a link, and then type in the preferred symbol. So I want to see if I got JP Morgan here. Yes, stocks JPM, selecting that, and then let's generate a report. So let's wait for that. And now you're going to get an in-depth report for JP Morgan. It's going to speak about all the microeconomic factors that would impact it. Obviously, the source of truth is going to be the risk gauge, the 45-period exponential moving average, and the 18.6-year cycle. But it's just interesting to see a lot of metrics that is mentioned here in the asset valuation part as well. Okay, here we talk about market cap, trailing PE, net interest margin, return on equity, forward earnings per share growth, recent news, the macroeconomic and geopolitical landscape. What else? probability assessment. You can just go and read the verdict, actually. The institutional outlook for JP Morgan is a wait for bullish setup, wait for the, well, the macro regime is highly favorable. The price must reclaim the EMA 45 and the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so just wait for a bullish setup. Maybe I should go and have a look at the chart here. Let's click on chart. JP Morgan. Oh, data is stale. Maybe we can refresh it here. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I'd wait for this one to move above the 45 period exponential moving average. And then let's have a look at a Fibonacci target. There's the up A, B, C, D with a target at 448 and the market's currently trading at 300. Look at that. Isn't that a huge target to the upside? Crazy. So basically you can find all the information you need on this one website. You don't have to go to different websites and different analytical services. You can find everything here. Jill is saying, in your view of silver as a position or swing. Okay. So silver, let's go and have a look at XAG. Right. Silver is below the 45 period exponential moving average, actually. Don't see any patterns here. It says waiting for a bullish setup. So there's definitely no trade at the moment. That's going to be a difficult one. I would only be buying it if the market moves above that 45 period exponential moving average, but I wouldn't be selling it unless we're in a recession. And we're not in a recession now. I wouldn't be shorting it, only looking for a buy. But let's see what we have on the 1 hour. Also no harmonic patterns. Any Fibonacci? No. Gosh, there's nothing going on here. There's a down minor trend, but you know, your line in the sand here is definitely going to be the 45 period exponential moving average. Absolutely. Yeah. Nothing we can do about that. The upside potential on silver. There is a Fibonacci on the daily chart. There's the AB boundary. That was the first fractal high. There was a retracement. There is a new retracement. So the target here is at 110. That is much higher than where we are now. I don't know if the market will go and hit that. But that's basically a target. Maybe testing the previous high. But that looks like a target. If I want to draw a more accurate Fibonacci, because I mean this is an auto Fibonacci. Let's go and add the 144 and 377 period exponential moving average. Okay, there was a golden cross over here. Goodness, I think I'm just going to look at the previous move, the latest move here. Okay, let's do some technical analysis. So what I can see is that this looks like a falling wedge that was basically broken to the upside. There we go. I didn't want to draw that. Let's delete it. And then we can have a look at this swing over here for a Fibonacci. This is a retracement. So it retraced to the 618. No, excuse me, it retraced to the 382 over here. The 382. So the D extension would be the 1.618. Where is that now? That's the retracement. Extension. There's the extension. Okay. So there is your 1.618 at about 108. Okay, so not even this analysis shows that it's going to take out that previous high. If I take all of this out, the auto Fibonacci is telling me it's going to go to 110. So I guess 108, 110, that's going to be the target. You saw an assessment with upper potential of 300. That's quite substantial. That's quite substantial. But anything is possible because we are in the final phases of the 18.6-year cycle. So it is likely going to continue much higher because I don't know if it will go that high, but I think it would be an exercise in futility to be selling it. I wouldn't be buying it at this point. I think I'd keep my eyes peeled on the 45 period exponential moving average. Wait for the market to move above that. Wait for this one to give me a buy signal and then engage it. That's what I would be doing. So nothing has really changed since last week's analysis. Everything is still bullish. I'd still be looking for a buy. I'd still be going long Aussie yen, Aussie Swiss, and buying stocks and buying crypto, permitting that they are aligned. Okay. So the recordings library is going to be redesigned so that it is much more user-friendly, and you'll be able to view a full screen recording in high definition. So this will be reworked in the next couple of days. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's session and didn't find it too difficult to use the new format, which is the Google meeting or Google webinar format that we are using from now on. But once this recording has been, once I receive this recording, I will upload it to the website, and then I will send a mass email to everybody that the recording has been uploaded. Okay. As always, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your patronage. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, send me an email, or go to the contact form on the website. Okay. It is incredibly hot here in Portugal. It is 37 degrees Celsius here today. It's only starting to cool down a bit now. So I'm definitely just going to relax a little bit now. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic one. This is your friend Tian. Have a good one.